Welcome to Harmony for the Holidays.
Welcome, Gulmakai. My name is Skywalker, and today we have Gulmakai Saleh as our guest to share some tips and information on practicing goodness to help create harmony and release stress during the winter holidays. And let's begin, Gulmakai, with you explaining and giving a definition of what you mean by good.
Well, what I mean by good is, most of the time when holidays come, whatever faith it might be, we all have our different holidays. We get so worked up in having this amazing event, amazing time together with our family and friends, but we end up becoming not so good. Uh, we become mean. We yell, we scream because we have all this stress on us. But that's not the meaning of any holidays. All these holidays, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Hanukkah or Eid, the message behind that is that we have to bring out the best of us, the good in us. And when we go under the stress and have this workload, extra workload added to the workload we already have, our normal life tasks and chores we add this workload, then that makes us very stressful. So I want to make sure that we have that kindness and compassion in us when we are during these times where the holiday comes in and we're not so stressed that we become someone else we are not.
Right. So, what kind of things do you do, or can you suggest that people do to keep their goodness and to keep that stress level lower?
So I have a few steps to do. But before we go there, just want to talk about, how, there's been studies in America that is called Stress in America survey showed that 24% of adults report extreme stress over the past year. So these adults who already have extreme stress or increased stress may find that the holiday season be an added challenge. So it just like more stress on their stress. So it becomes too extreme for them. So this may be a good time to try to reform your thinking about the holidays. Instead of dreading the likely stress ahead, you can view the holidays as an opportunity to enhance your psychology, well-being, and bring out the goodness. There are a number of helpful steps you can take for uh, to take during these holidays and feel more optimistic and about these holidays. So the step one is to reflect. What is the purpose of this holiday? Why am I celebrating? Whether it's Ramadan, whether it's Easter, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Thanksgiving. Why am I celebrating these holidays? And we all know behind all these the goodness, being a better person, being caring, giving, and it's not about me. It's about others during these holidays. So the first thing is a reflection time, and during this reflection, try to purify your intentions. Why are you holding a big feast during this holiday? Why are you having everyone come to your house? What are your intentions behind it? Is it to have your family come together, your neighbors come together to enjoy a good time together? Or is it, sometimes we want to show off, saying, hey, she had the best holiday meal, dinner on the whole block, So we really need to purify our intention. Why we want to have this holiday dinner in our house, right? Why are we giving a certain gift? Maybe it might be expensive for us. Why are we giving a certain gift to a certain person? And it's beyond our budget. So we really need to reflect what is our intention behind it. If it's not a good intention, maybe we need to readjust that intention and make it a better intention. The second thing, still under the reflecting time, is to be realistic about your plans and plan ahead of time. So try to make it simple. We go, since consumerism hit, we just want to spend here, there, right, everywhere, right? we lose our budget, we go beyond our budget, uh, we do extra work than we are able to accomplish, and that stresses us. So let's be realistic about our time, our responsibility as a mother or father, whoever we may be. We have responsibility. So let's be realistic and try to make it as simple as possible. And the next thing is, if you have a family, talk about the message of the holidays to your family before the holidays start. So what is the purpose of your holiday, whatever holiday that might be? Always talk about the good part of the holiday, not just the receiving. Oh, we get gifts. Of course, yeah, it's good to give gifts and receive gifts, but try to talk about the message of the holiday, which is to promote goodness and kindness and share, and try to make new year's resolutions. Right, this is the time to make yourself account yourself to see where you were last year and where are you now. How have you improved as a human being? So the first step is to reflect over your time, over why you're intending this, to do this party at your house, or why are you giving this searching gift, or why are you decorating your house. Sometimes you go buy a house and you see all these lights, but what is the purpose? What is your underlining intention for that? Which could cause us a lot of stress at the end.
That's something I think a lot of people don't do, is to think about why they're doing something. And it's good to think about it, to wonder, actually, why are you doing the lights? What do they symbolize? Something? Are they really something good to do because it's using a lot of energy? Or do you just want to be bright? If there's a good reason, it makes sense to do something, but just to do something because everyone else has been doing it, or you've been doing it for years without reflecting on it, is a good idea. Because all of the things that people get involved in, from shopping to lights to trees, they can lead to a lot of stress. So that reflecting on it, and those thoughts you raise and thinking about the intention, is a really, really good idea. So did you have some more points to share with us?
Yeah, the second step is to work collectively. So meaning that, you have a family, you're the mother or you're the father. Every member should have a responsibility for the holiday. Everyone should have their task or their chores. So when the family works together and do things together, it's more fun and less stress on the parents, and more collectively, everyone's working together, they're enjoying it. So you have great memories to share later on in life, where you say, oh, remember we worked together and you did this and I did that. And you can also laugh about it, joke about it. So it will also leave good memories behind. Another thing is, if you're planning a big event, don't be embarrassed if you're inviting your relatives, distant relatives, your friends, your neighbors. Don't be embarrassed. Say, hey, let's have a potluck dinner. Instead of having all the stress on you, people should be considered that you're offering your house. That's good enough. You're providing the utensils or the drinks or whatever it may be. So now let everyone bring a dish. This is more, one, we get to taste everyone's dish, and two, it will be less stress on the person who's hosting the holiday party.
That's a real good idea, because the stress of preparing meals, I've seen that wear out a lot of women. It decreases the enjoyment when one person has to fix all the food for everyone. So I'm really curious to hear your next suggestion, your next step.
The reason I make those points is because I'm a little older now, but when I was younger, I used to have all these guests over the holidays, Eid, Ramadan, and sometimes we would do Thanksgiving, but it would get so stressful on just that one person. I'm like, so I talked to my family and my relatives who used to come over. I said, let's plan it out. Let's take turns. 1 year will be in my house, the next year in this person. But let's do potluck. Or if we could come a little early, we could all cook together in the same house, and everyone will be cooking in the kitchen. It's so much fun. when we're all together, all these ladies together, together, they're cooking together, enjoying it, they're talking, and it's just we've been doing that, and it's so much fun. And instead of just being the only person in the kitchen and cooking everything and stressing yourself out and yelling at the kids and throwing things around, so the stress just accumulates if you're doing it alone. It's more fun doing it together.
Yeah, that's a really great tradition you've created, and your children and your daughters and your sons will probably continue with their families. And it's a good idea for a lot of other people to try, because the whole tradition of the mother or the person who's hosting relatives coming in from all over the place, it definitely creates stress. Whereas it's much more fun if everyone does chip in, help with the cooking, send some people out to the store to get different things. That's a really good idea and a really good stress reducer. Did you have some more steps for us or tips to
Yeah,
share?
two more. I have two more tips. So the third tip is doing good with your family towards others. So doing good meaning that we give back to the community, give back to our relatives and our neighbors. Some things we could do together as a family with our children or just on our own. Sometimes you can't always be dragging your kids everywhere with you, but it would be great if you do, because you set a great example for them. So going to the nursing home is a great time to visit those elders who are alone. You know, study shows that being alone is the highest. Um, uh, Being alone is the highest on the depression scale. So people who are alone are the highest in depression. So all these elders who are in the nursing home, they're so depressed because they're lonely and people do not come visit them, their family, or they might not have a family member. So this is a great time to go there, read them a book, spend some time, do something fun and creative with them. They'll love it and enjoy it. I have done it a few times with my daughters, and it's a great opportunity to talk with them, because these elders, they're like history books. I love talking to them because they have history that is not written in books. They have history that they share with us, recent history that they lived through, and I wasn't there at that time. So talking to these elders, and let just them, they love to just talk about themselves, their life, and it just feels good for them. And you taking that, just giving your ears and listening ears to them will make them so happy, and that will make their holiday. Whatever faith they may be, it's just a good thing you do for someone who can't do much for themselves. Another thing you could do with your family is, or you could also, like, get together with your community and have the youth or the adults come together to do these activities. Giving back to the poor, going to a soup kitchen, making I mean, there's so many things you could do. Giving them warm clothes, having a coat or blanket dry, where you could give those who are homeless living on the streets warm for the holidays. Giving gifts to children, those who are less fortunate, that's another thing. Sometimes we always want the gifts, and why not? Let's say, okay, this year let's give gifts to those who are not fortunate enough to have a gift. If for us, if it's going beyond our budget to give to other children, let's talk to our children. You get birthday gifts, you get gifts during other times of the year. These children never get any gifts, so let's work it out together. Another thing is, you could donate your time, money, skills toward any great cause. There's many great causes out there. Wherever you're passionate about your children, work with them together and try to make it possible. And one more thing that, the holidays, what we should do is forgive. There's a lot of issues that happen in between family, neighbors, relatives. So if try to invite your estranged relative, the relative you haven't been talking to months or years, you have disconnected yourself. This is the greatest time to forgive them, let go of what happened, and bring them over, invite them over. Your neighbors, if you've been bickering with each other throughout the year, and this is a great time to invite them over and make things work out. And just the atmosphere is good, the environment feels good during the holidays. So they will also also feel your generosity, your kindness, and your compassion, that they will also forgive if you have done something towards them. So, like I said, this is the greatest time to invite them over and do more good during these times. Because the reason for this is because we all have this hormone. It's called the happy hormone. I call it the happy hormone. When we do good, it's released. It's and or andro. I'm good. I'm talking so much. Take a little breath. Endorphin. This is a hormone that is trigger a positive feeling in the body. So every time we do good, this hormone is released, and it makes us happy. You know, a lot of people are depressed, so the greatest way to remove depression is doing good for others, making someone else smile, making someone else's day. Uh, and this happens when you do good.
Yeah, people don't realize that when you actually do help people, you're helping yourself, because the energy, the person who you help is going to be grateful and appreciative. Their energy, you receive that. And like you said, our body produces those hormones within us that can make us happy and feel good without having to take external things, just by helping other people and thinking about someone else and thinking how we can make someone else's day and make them enjoy the holiday when they don't have any other options. And being people in nursing homes really do need and appreciate people seeing them, because I worked as a nurse in a nursing home, and it was really sad to see some people who never had anyone visit them. And unfortunately, the nurses were so busy, we didn't have time too often to just sit and talk to the people, and that's really all most of them wanted, was just someone to listen to them. Because they live long lives, they have full lives, they're full of stories and knowledge to share. So is there one more tip to share or step that you had for us? Or was that?
Taking care of the environment. You know, when is the greatest time to take care of the environment? Is the holidays, because the holidays is the time where we neglect the environment. We have so much waste in food. We cut trees for our the Christian faith, they cut Christmas trees. I know in Ramadan, when I go to the meshes, there's so much food being wasted, utensils, trash. And of course, it comes with all the holidays of all faiths where we're wasting and destroying the environment. So this is the greatest time to take care of the environment, because we need that fresh air to take our stress away. We need that beautiful nature to take our stress away. You know, walking into the woods or walking outside on the beach or seeing the sky. This is something that takes our stress away. It's naturally a healing power. It has some kind of healing power that nature gives us. But the thing is, if we're destroying the environment during the holidays, you know, we're just going all the wrong way. So some of the tips under the fourth step is find an alternative to paper products. You know, we have parties, we don't want to wash the dishes, so let's get some paper and plastic products that we use. And what happens? We fill up the landfills. There's trash in the ocean, and it is a catastrophe. So that's one thing. Try to see what kind of alternative you could do. I've recently seen eatable.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
So we really need to support that cause. I forgot who it was who invented this great idea. And there's another one that's what it doesn't leave on the earth. So it disposes easily into the ground, so it gives nutrition back to the ground. If it's an animal who eats the plate or the spoon, it doesn't harm them. It gets digested. So those are like some alternative to paper products or plastic products we use on the holiday. The next tip is reuse gift wraps and bags. You know, sometimes we just tear open the gift boxes. You know, instead of tearing it apart, take it off gently, reuse it. I'm not embarrassed to reusing it. So no one should be. use it a few times, or take it and make something creative out of it. With my daughter, we made this canvas out of tissue paper. We used different tissue papers. We used old gift bags and even invitation cards. So we took them, we cut them up, and we made this beautiful canvas, and it looked great. You could do so many creative things with it, either reusing it again as a gift bag or gift wrap, or doing something artistic. The next tip is try to recycle the tree or use a plastic one. So if those who do celebrate Christmas and have a Christmas tree, just instead of chopping nice green trees and then just throwing them away, it's very unhealthy for the earth. We should take care of the earth. You could recycle it. I know every state in the United States and every city, they have a day where they come and take the trees and they reuse it. They will chop it down and reuse it for something else. So either that's one option. The other option is using a plastic tree, which you could reuse all the time. But I know some people, they like this fresh smell of the pine tree. So these are some options. Another step. There's 2 more steps before we are done. Try to find a way to conserve energy when you have lights around the house. So, a lot of us, we love the lights, whether, even Muslims, they're doing that. They have lights now. Christmas time, we see a lot of lights. Even though it does look beautiful, but the thing is, you also have energy use. And when energy is used, a pollution happen. And then when you get your electricity bill and is above your budget, and stress will build up. So taking care of, do you really need those lights on? Do you need it all the time on? Do you just need it maybe those few days when the holidays is going on? Because I notice sometimes I'm passing some people's houses and they have the lights on for like 2 months. 1 month before the holiday, 1 month after the holidays, and it's just on because they never have the time to take it down or turn it off. So that's another tip. And the last tip is do not waste food. So much food we cook. We want to make the table full of food. we forget how hard it is to grow the food, to import it, to cook it, to buy it. So all that hard work that goes into bringing that food onto the table is stress. It's all stress. But if we make it simple, we make it a simple menu. We could eat all the time. Eating is all the time, going on all the time, every day, 24/7. We're eating. So I know holidays, one of the major things is eating. So make maybe every holiday, say, okay, for this holiday we'll have this, and this. And then next holiday we'll have these few things. Make it 3, 4, 5 things, and don't go above that. Otherwise, you'll be stressed, and of course, it'll be wasting. Or if you do have leftovers that are eatable, you could always. There's I don't know if every place allows it, but shelter homes, they will take the food and give it to the people there. So there's some things you could do so you don't just dump it into the trash, which is wasteful, or it's getting rotten in the refrigerator. No one's eating it after the holidays. Of course, making a second, taking the food and making something else, a different recipe. That's what I do. When I open the refrigerator door and we have leftovers, I try to make something else out of it. So it could be very, it'll have fresh taste to it, and people will eat it and won't go to waste. So those are my steps and tips on how to have a stress-free holiday by, first focusing on the goodness. So if we bring the goodness into the holiday, that will be our intention, to bring goodness, to build love, empathy, kindness, without me becoming the monster, because I am taking all this load of work on myself and now I'm so stressed. And then when the guests come, I'm yelling and screaming and banging things against the wall. And of course, the guests will feel your energy, that you're not happy, and give a wrong impression. And I know we don't want that to happen.
Those are such good suggestions. And I think people get so used to it. In America, you see it in the movies and in the TV shows where everybody goes crazy. Instead of creating an image in which people can focus on goodness, can focus on sharing and making the holiday good, and thinking about the environment is a really important point that I think a lot of people don't think of. But in terms of when I was growing up and when we had the holidays, that was when Mama brought out the special silverware and plates that weren't used at any other time. Because when I was growing up, there wasn't a whole, we weren't spending money on paper plates because that was actually more expensive than just taking the time to make it special with the special plates, special silverware. And then, of course, she had 4 daughters to help wash the dishes. And that's something that, again, the children can do. The young, not too young, the younger people can help wash the dishes, can help clean, to have them being involved if they're not helping with the cooking. And the whole thing with the lights, people could, it's worth getting a timer even, because even here, the Chamber of Commerce, they have a big tree, and they have this tree lighting, but they don't keep those lights on too often. They'll have the lights on maybe every once in a while, but they don't keep it on 24/7, because it's nice to have them lights for a little bit of time, but really it is a good thing for people to question, with, especially with what we know about the environment and the importance of conserving energy and protecting our environment. And I haven't used trees for a long time, so that was new information for me, and it might be for other people that they can actually recycle their trees, and for them to look for where they can do that in their cities where they live, to recycle the trees instead of just putting them in the dumpster. And the food, there's a lot that can be done. Either you plan on eating less, being creative, or like you said, using leftovers or freezing food. Because if you freeze cooked food right after it's cooked that same night, it'll be good. You just put a date on it. And when you want to cook something up real quickly, you can do that too. That's another option. Well, I know you must have wonderful holidays with your family and friends, because you have all of these good tips. Before we leave, would you want to tell people a little bit about your work and what kind of projects you're involved with right now?
First, I want to say thank you again for having me. My name again is Gulmakai Saleh, and I'm an author of 2 books, Princess Diversity and the Golden Rule, and The Goodness Soup. Both books promote the Golden Rule. The Golden Rule, of course, we all know, is something ingrained in all things, which is to treat people as we want to be treated. I also host a webcast. It's my 2nd season on Facebook Live, Listen to Understand with Gulmakai. And that is also to promote goodness through understanding, to promote goodness through understanding. I believe that the more we have understanding of each other, the more we have goodness with each other. And of course, I do talks and discussions in the communities around me, and I talk about bullying. I'm working on speaking about my refugee crisis, because I was a refugee myself. So this is something I want to talk about, and the effects of wars, what happens when there's a war going on. So things that have happened in my life, I want to talk about and share with others who could relate to what I went through, and they could also be inspired to do good and give the best to the world, because everyone has the potential to give good. And I believe in everyone, whatever religion, whatever race they are from, whatever nationality. I believe everyone has goodness in them. It's just that sometimes it's a little hard to bring it out of them. That's what I try to do. I try to realize their potential they could give back to the world.
Yes. And it is true that everyone has within them, like you said, good, or that potential for good. And practicing goodness and compassion towards people can sometimes help bring that out or help nurture it. It's really been a pleasure having you here, Gulmakai. You've shared so many good tips, and I really look forward to having another opportunity to talk with you, because I know you have a lot of knowledge, and you've got your story of how you came here is really interesting. And I will be calling you back because I have a podcast and I'll be doing YouTube interviews, and I know I really like to share and talk with you more. But we're going to end now and say there are more conversations to be had with Harmony for the holidays. And to the audience, I trust you've enjoyed it and would love to get your comments below this video, and you'll get more information about Gulmakai, her projects. She's doing a GoFundMe, which you should help support. And we will be back later on with more conversations.
Thank you.